Hello friends. Well, here we are again, and today there's a lot of talk on the internet about taxes. So we're going to do a reading on taxes because Bitcoin is not taxed, and Bitcoin is a system that is not allowing for tax, and people hold their own money and they're not taxed. If they have to give things, they do it by choice, and that's a big difference. So I think that's one of the big differences they're going to see in Paraguay. But anyway, there's a lot of talk about taxes, and it seems like they're ramping things up to trigger people, to get them to really question what's going on here. And how did this happen? I saw a tweet the other day that said, gee, I wish World War I would be over so that this 1% tax would go away, this temporary 1% tax would go away. And I mean, that's how far down the road and how lost we are. They put these temporary measures in place, and then before you know it, that's the way it is. So what's going on with this taxes crap? And what does the cards have to say about all of that? Because it's really unfair. They're making it really obvious that it's unfair. And yet people have such a fear of, it's been so many generations, and they have such a fear of taxes, the death and taxes thing. That's more brainwashing, more programming. So anyway, taxes. Meditate on the answer. So I think people really need to think really long and hard about taxes, because it's not getting us anywhere and they're abusing us. It's like humiliation, programmed humiliation. That's what it is. It's programmed humiliation. So, yeah. Let's see what the cards have to say. I'm curious because it's a free thing, whatever happens. And I want to say happy birthday to my dad. He would have been 100 years old today. He was born on 1924. And he would have been 100 years old today. So happy birthday, Dad. I already said happy birthday, but I'll do it publicly. He's the one that kind of taught me about being suspicious about the system and that kind of thing. He knew a lot. There wasn't a lot he was going to do at the time period he was alive. Okay. Discernment. So yeah, use your discernment. Think long and hard about what you're doing before you pay your taxes. Think about where it's going and what it's doing to you and the whole circumstances. It all needs to be looked at carefully. So discernment. Oh, my cards are getting twisted. It seems like they want to do this, so I think I'll let them. Okay, how's that? Better? Okay, discernment. Sometimes we just need to look at the situation and really look at what we're doing, and if that makes sense. Sometimes you keep doing the same thing and then you got to watch yourself do it. And then you go, hold on, I just watched myself do this thing. A lot of the behaviors that I was stuck in, it was like jumping on or stepping into a roller coaster, and I could watch my foot getting into the car and getting ready to go on the roller coaster. And a couple times I watched myself get in and go through the whole thing and then come out and go, why did I do that? And then the next time I could see myself and I didn't put my foot in the car, and that's how that works, deprogramming. You have to see yourself do it first. So, paying attention and thinking about what you're doing is really helpful. But it's discernment. Okay. Balance spirituality and practicality. So you have to be, a spiritual being, but you also have to live in a three-dimensional realm. And so you have to play this three-dimensional game. I'm not good at playing this three-dimensional game, I have to tell you. I mean, I'm good at it to a certain extent, but that I can survive and you know, compete. But I'm a non-competitive person, and I'm not about survival. I'm always trying to make everybody's life better, and you know, so consequently. Anyway, gotta get glasses because I forgot them. So let's read this Moonology card, full moon in Pisces. Full moon in Pisces. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move toward your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. You're in a super romantic but not a super realistic state. Follow your intuition. It won't let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're inquiring about is a soulmate. Avoid substance abuse. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever you pull this card, it's time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numerous Piscean energies that have no borders, so feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It's also a time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. So I think releasing fears is a big one here with taxes. But it's got to happen. We got to do it. If we're still bought into the old system, it's just going to stay around. Like I said before, Buckminster Fuller said, don't try to destroy a system, just create a better one and let people naturally gravitate. But these people have been beaten into submission in terms of taxes. So, consequently, they're not thinking rationally. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They're very afraid of risking. People aren't in the situation where they got nothing left to lose. They still have things that they can lose, and they're afraid to move forward with something like not paying taxes because they're afraid of what they might lose. And I can understand that. Okay, so how are taxes showing up here on our read? Sure, money. Well, this is usually a very sovereign card. It's the Nine of Pentacles. It's, you know, the wealth. There's a lot of wealth. Is tax showing up as wealth? Well, maybe the country's wealth. Yeah, it's a money card. So let's see what's crossing taxes. The King of Pentacles. Well, look at that. So I guess maybe this might be us, and the King of Pentacles is the government, and they're crossing us and our sovereignty and our wealth. They're showing up, and they're, you know, maybe steamrolling us. The King of Pentacles is a good king, but because he's pentacles, it may be that in this case he's a greedy king. All right, let's see. Where are we coming from? Balance. So we're taxes is trying to take as much as they can without leaving us completely wondering why we have nothing. They have to balance it. They have to, you know, leave us with enough that we still think we have some control over the situation. However, every time it goes up and up and up and up and up. Like we're at like 30% income tax now. I remember a Little House on the Prairie episode where they said income tax. Never. It's never going to happen, you know. I guess that was the joke of the show. Anyway, yeah, so we're coming from a balanced place. They're trying to balance out the books. Yeah, like they're trying to balance out the books. What's the best case scenario here? Holding on to our money. Yeah, Bitcoin. Not being able to extract it from us with force. So being able to hold on to our money, and that's better. We're safer. We're more sovereign. When we give by choice. But that's the best case scenario, is holding on to it. I guess this could be that they want to hold on to all our money too, but I'm thinking that this is us holding on to, in terms of what we want to do. But it could be that they want to hold on to all the money and they don't care about us, which that's true. Definitely that's true. Okay, so what do we got? Where are we going? The Fool, new journey, a new adventure. Yeah, well, taxes is going to have to go away, and they're going to have to, it's going to show us that we've been fools by paying taxes. And we're going to have to start a new journey with something new, which I believe is Bitcoin. But yeah, we've been fools. We've been very silly. And it's a foolish thing to cooperate in this situation. Okay, and tools that we have: generosity, helping others. So I can understand that society in general wants to do that. They want to support their citizens, but they keep taking the money away and then, using it and distributing it in the way they think, instead of letting it stay with the people and the people distributing it the way they think. And maybe that would be a little more uneven, as opposed to like a tax and then it all goes and the same amount goes. It would be more like, my cousins are not doing well, and so as they're part of my family, I will help them. And, bringing people up and keeping families together and, sharing resources. Those are the things that will make us all wealthy. And that's the kind of society that we want, instead of forced extraction, and then you got to go beg for some of it back. So yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And taxes, how do they see themselves in the situation? Queen of Pentacles. we have the King and the Queen of Pentacles. So they see themselves as, they see themselves as motherly and available, and, we'll help you, and that's how they see themselves. But we see it like, God, I got to ask permission for anything. They're never going to let me grow up. They're always going to treat me like a child. And, that's true. That's how they're treating us, like children. Like we're not smart enough to make our own decisions. We're not smart enough to hold our own money. We're not smart enough to be able to make decisions about helping others, and, we would just be greedy and not help anyone and hoard the money and be vicious and competitive. And I just don't see that as happening. Okay, anyway, the environment. The environment is stress and worry, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Yeah, well, they're worried because they're going down. They're worried because their whole system is going to crumble. So they should be worried. They're trying to strong-arm us. They're trying to take all the money. They should be worried because they're not a benevolent mother. They're not that at all. They're, a greedy father, so to speak. So, okay, and the hopes and fears. Oh, so many decisions. Dysfunction, too many choices, sending money to Iran and Iraq and Israel and Ukraine, and, bombs and so many things to buy. And they just get so greedy that they say, oh, it's all our money, and they take it. It's kind of like marriages sometimes get that way, where somebody just decides all the money's theirs and they don't want the other person to have any exercise or any access to the money. They just decide it's all theirs, and then they get resentful when the other person spends money. So, I mean, that's not fair. That's not good. And that's the kind of thing we see here is they've decided that all the money is theirs. And so they're showing us that, you know, they're going to spend it in Ukraine, or they're going to spend it somewhere else on military budgets. They're going to run CERN. They're going to build things we don't want. This is all the things that they're doing that, you know, don't align with who we are and what we want to accomplish and where we want to go. Okay, and the final outcome is the Page of Wands. So we're looking into new vistas. We're passionate and excited about the new places we're going to go, but the taxes, there is no place for them to go. They're done. They're done, and something new is going to come along, and it is what it is. Let's see, what does the Page of Wands have to say? Page of Wands is a daring soul, lover, adventurer, an intrepid traveler, gathering of intelligence, focused passion, adventurous soul, faithful lover. So I think that's also true, that you know, these are the things that we need to become more like. We need to meditate. We need to think about what we're doing in terms of our patterns and our programming. And we got to step out of that and explore new vistas, understand there are options out there and there are choices we can make, and that we have to make the safest choices we can, in even if it's a stepwise fashion. You know, even if it's just one little thing that you don't do anymore that supports the old system, and you stop doing that and you move on to something better. So taxes, they have a lot of fear and uncertainty and doubt, but they should, because of their behavior and their strong arm tactics. They need to be gone. We need to be in a new place. And they're not a benevolent mother as they see themselves. There's cognitive dysfunction there. They're not generous, although they could be. They're not. They're not doing those things. You know, roads and crap, schools. Yeah, well, no, not really. Very little money goes there. Those places, the roads are falling apart and the schools are a mess. And the teachers are paying for a lot of school supplies. So that's ridiculous. Anybody who's a teacher who's still paying taxes and voting, man, you are definitely programmed. Okay, anyway. The moon, so illusions, and anchor is safety and security, and message, bringing a message. So I think the message is that this tax situation is an illusion, and in order for us to get the security we want, we need to take the message that taxes are a scam, and we really have to contemplate, use our discernment, meditate, think about what we're doing, and understand that no, the system is made to destroy us. Literally, the system is made to destroy us, and that we have to stop with our programming and look up and wake up and see what a mess that we're in and how to fix it. And the answer is finally here. We have an answer. It's being tested in some communities, but we really have to pretty much pull our head out of our ass and stop doing this crap. So that's that. All right. Anyway, I made so little money this year that I don't even have to pay taxes. I'm below the poverty level. Not that I'm bragging about that, but that it sort of was by design. I didn't want to be part of the system anymore, and I found a way that me, personally, I could exist without being part of the system. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, that's my situation. So, no, I'm not paying taxes, but there's a reason for that. Okay. The dragon. Yeah, well, year of the dragon, but also dragon entities. Dragons. That's also fear and uncertainty is dragons. Let's see what the dragon's very spiritual though. Okay, let's see. It's also associated with a chakra, so. Dragon. Seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep in our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of the intelligence within you. Yeah, wake up, get smart. The dragon in the third chakra. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra. Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems, and behind its gate burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. So yeah, we have to see. We have to learn to see. And we have to learn to see the crap and the sham and the scam and the lies. We have to see all that. We have to understand that they're playing us for a fool. And we are the fool if we don't see any of these things. We have to meditate and think about the things that this system is doing to us. Even if you can't think of where you want to go with the good stuff, which is too hard when you're in this trap. You have to think about what this trap is doing, and you have to stop behaving that way. You have to stop being who you are and be somebody new. So, taxes, yeah, that's a big thing. I think it's like the sadomasochistic relationships too. It is so well anchored in society that it is really challenging us to change. So there it is, taxes. We got to stop doing this nonsense. We got to stop beating our heads against the wall. Yeah, so there it is. Well, there's the reading. I think it was a good reading. I think it was a clear message. And, I have a technology challenge that I'm facing. So I may not be able to upload my readings early in the day like I have been. I may have to do them in the evening. So there may be a day of a lapse when I change from this system to the new system. So, yeah, I was going to do an extra and then just do a download in the morning, but the energy may be too much. Anyway, these are my problems, not yours. Anyway, if you notice that I haven't downloaded at the same time, that's why. Okay, thank you. Like, share, and subscribe if you will, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks. Bye.